How are we? We're going to have one of our four speakers up now, and she's very kindly agreed to come up here for the audience people and do a little bit of talking. I met this lady when I first started on Síol last year, and talk about an absolute powerhouse. And her group, everybody in the group, they idolise each other and they idolise more, and it's just a really, really lovely flow when you walk into the room and feel all that warm love and energy. Margaret from the Cozy Crafters, would you mind coming up and having a chat with us for a minute? Thank you very much. Being Caroline, that's a wonderful group. Over to you, Margaret. Morning, everybody. Welcome to Women's International Day. My name is Margaret, I'm part of the Cozy Crafters. We're a group of women who congregate in the library on the Navan Road. Most of the ladies come to do a bit of sewing, a bit of crochet, some even do a little bit of hand sewing for their, when they go there that night. But we're more than that. We're a group of women who inspire each other. We've been through a lot together. There's stuff always going on. It might be a bereavement, and maybe someone's not feeling the best. You're women, you don't need me to explain what trials and tribulations we go through. But there are a group of women that just are amazing. They sit there, they support. I often step back and I just leave them to it, and I just look at them and just say, my God, what a good woman. They're absolutely brilliant. They do loads of work for charity. We dressed the Christmas tree in the library from all their work. They did pumpkins, they did plum puddings, they did angels, they did hearts. Our project that we just finished now is they were doing hats for the neonatal unit in Crumlin. And all this is done on a voluntary basis. But apart from all of that, it's about they're there for each other. Sometimes, last year a lady came to me and she said to me, Margaret, I love this group. She said, and I love the people that's in the group. But she said, you know, things are getting very tough. And she said, for me, she said, I was blown away. She said, I come here because when I'm here, I don't have to have my heat now for 3 hours. And when the woman told me that, it just changed me and changed my outlook on the group. That we're not just there as women doing crochet and sewing and knitting. We're there as a community and as just a loving group. And when you come into the group, Roisin will tell you, there's just a love in the room, and a love that they all have for each other. And they all support each other, and you know they're amazing. And I have to give them a clap, because they're there. We meet on a Monday from 2:30 to 4. But they're there from 2, and they're not gone at 4. And the lad that's coming in to do the English class after is coming in and he's there, you're all right, but can you go? You're all right, can you go? But I just want to say from me as a woman, to all of you women, thank you so much, because we contribute. I'm just after coming back, Mary from the Women's Shed was with me and Mary. We were in Brussels at a convention, and to say, we met some women from the inner city, and to say that women empower women, I was blown away. These women were there to represent the inner city, but we were there also as well. The whole day flipped when we were at the conferences. Women were there and talking about support, and the main thing was, it looks lovely on paper, but when it comes down to it, there's really not much getting done. While loads are trying to do stuff, women like us in voluntary groups, but they were just so inspiring. And that's what maybe I look at myself and I say, I'm inspired by all my Cozy Crafters. I am a member of the Women D7 Women's Shed as well. The women there are also amazing women and inspiring. But Roisin said I was finish off with a question.
I have a question for you, yeah. We've only one mic, so we're going to make do. The question I'm going to ask, so this year's theme for International Women's Day is Give the Game. So I'm going to ask Margaret, can you remember a time in your community work where you gained by giving?
Yeah. Gain to give. What I give is, I think I give me heart and soul. But what I've gained is wisdom, empowerment, and the biggest thing I've gained, love from an extended family.
Everybody give Margaret another round of applause, please. Thank you so much. We could take this, yeah. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. I really appreciate that, Margaret. Next, we're going to do a bit of spoken word. We have an artist here today who had a piece written about women and how they've been treated in Ireland. There is some trigger warnings in this, just to let people know. It speaks of domestic violence and stuff, but it's also about let's be aware of it, let's be positive in our actions towards stopping it, you know? So this girl is an activist. She's just nearly about to finish her degree in journalism. She's a mother, she's a grandmother, and she happens to be one of my best friends. Miss Nikki Murphy, would you come up here, please? Give Nikki a clap.
Hey everybody, as Rosie said, there's a little bit of trigger warning here, and I'm a student journalist, and I've been writing on impacts on women's lives over the years, and one night I was listening to UB40 in the background, procrastinating writing my thesis, and clearing out my folder on my computer with stuff that I had written. So, over the course of our lifetime, 1 in 3 Irish women will be the victims of domestic, sexual, or coercive control. So this is a spoken word piece. I don't know the title yet. That reflects the reality of domestic violence and misogynistic behaviour experienced by women and girls in Ireland today. The main thing with this is, for every 1 in 10 women that report something against them, 9 in 10 don't. But for those 9 in 10, I see you. She is the 1 in 10, another victim on a long list. She is 9 in 10, and yes, she does exist, but nobody knows her because she lives in fear. She's constantly reminded it's a misogynistic world, and it doesn't care. She's a battered Irish woman, her hell is her home. She's a 15-year-old schoolgirl, begging her ma, can she stay at home? She's an elderly woman who doesn't have a say, because if you look into our Irish history, the church and state made it this way. Look at the redress boards, 1 in 10 have yet to be paid for crimes against our bodies, the Magdalene laundry homes, and can we just have a moment for all those babies in those graves? The other 9 in 10 were silenced, paid off to hide the shame. Everyone pointing fingers, but no one willing to take the blame. She is the 1 in 10, another victim on a long list. She is 9 in 10, and yes, she does exist, but nobody knows her because she lives in fear. She's constantly reminded it's a misogynistic world, and it doesn't care. A nation, a relation, she could be your sister or your man. See, 9 in 10 women killed in Ireland are done so by the hands of a man. They tend to be their husbands, partners, ex-lovers, and even sons. Someone, please help us. This accepted silence has me stunned. Have we become impartial because, as the statistics show, these 9 in 10 women are all someone we all know? This is not a fad, it's systematical, it's a trend, it's embedded in our culture. This violence against women has to end. Sorry. She's your mother, she's your daughter, she's your sister, she's your friend. take heed of the statistics. Now do you comprehend? She is 1 in 10, another victim on a long list. She is 9 in 10, and yes, she does exist, but nobody knows her because she lives in fear. She's constantly reminded it's a misogynistic world, and it doesn't care. Now let's talk about the schoolgirls who've had to change their routes home due to misogynistic bullying, unwanted dick pics, and coercive control. The media need to be held accountable for promoting misogynistic men when their trending headlines talk about locker room talk and weddings in the Vatican. The system is broken, the lawmakers are all men. It's clear and it's obvious, they've always been the 9 and 10. And when you look at global leaderships and the statistics again, how can 1 in 10 women take on all these men? But one of the statistics that blew my head most of all is that 9 in 10 people are biased against women overall. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope everyone's alright after that. It needs to be said, but it's hard to listen to it as well, you know? So can we all give Nikki another round of applause, please? Thank you. I was going to ask a question again. You do a lot of activist work, you just do a lot of work in general, you're always on the go. What do you get from that? What do you gain by giving? Think about it.
I already know. I gain purpose and a reason to be. I've been through the ringer. That poem should tell you a little something. At my lowest, and I thought there was no way out, I decided to put a backpack on my back and walk around the country in aid of another girl's pain. And along that route, I found my voice, I found myself, and I'm still here.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. Wonderful. I don't know, I didn't check in with Elaine. Is Elaine ready to come up for it? Yeah? Okay. This is wonderful. Thank you so much for everybody who's come up so far. So we have a very special guest, another very special guest now. Miss Elaine Harrison. Oh, and I believe she has a bear on with her as well. So Elaine, I met Elaine actually. Elaine, if you want to know, was actually a famous female rapper, but among a million other things. So I do a bit of rap as well, but I'm only kind of getting into it. Elaine has been doing it many years and has been the most famous female Irish rapper that anyone knows. Any of the rappers now are all in awe of her. Elaine is also a teacher in Harvard Community College. She's a visual artist, a spoken word artist, a musician. She's just an absolute all-round amazing person. So Elaine asked me at one point to recite one of her songs when she was having an album launch in Flux Art Studio, beautiful studio, and it was such an honour to be asked to actually do that by Elaine. So then as it turned out, I ended up working in the catchment area in Cabra, and I was linking in with schools to try and get intergenerational learning going where young and old kind of come together and learn. And Elaine was the lovely person who we connected together, and now on she is working with the students in the LCA 5th years to create an intergenerational learning project. So you will be seeing some of her 5th years in some of the groups helping out along the way, which is amazing. Yeah, I don't know what to say else about Elaine for. She's amazing, and I'm going to give her over to her. Alright? Thanks, Elaine. Elaine is really in her homework, like you will see. And she has her question in her speech.
Thank you very much. Thanks very much. Brilliant. So usually I'm totally ad-lib, but I decided I'd be a good teacher and I'd stay on book in favour of sharing the time, because gives and gains, you have to share the time fair and square. So I only want to take 5 minutes. So I'm going to stand off. Very generous, isn't she? Thank you, Flora. So, good morning, Paul. Harrington. I'm also known as temperamental miscellaneous. I was born in Cabra and raised in Finglas, so it's quite meaningful for me to be here celebrating the women of D7 and beyond, up D11 as well. A special thanks to Roisin, aka Flo, for inviting myself and some of my lovely students and our ANAs, our SNAs there, Alexis and Anita. Thank you very much for inviting us to the International Women's Day event here. And I wish to extend many thanks to Síol and Finglas Cabra Local Drug and Alcohol Task Force, as well as the venue here within the Deaf Village Ireland. So thanks to all. I'm an artist, poet and educator. I don't just define myself by what I do or by what I think, but it's important for me to share that I define myself by my faith. I'm Christian, so thank you for welcoming me to be who I am, because this event is about women giving to gain, and I don't feel we can give or receive fully and meaningfully if we don't first show who we truly are and accept and embrace others for exactly who they are. So be who you are. So I wanted to open particularly with that because I heard the theme, give to gain, and I thought of two very apt biblical verses immediately that came to mind. Mark 10:45, for even the Son of Man came not to be served but to serve. And forgive me, I'm not trying to be pious or religious here, but this did come to my heart, so I did want to honour that was a true thing that inspired me. And in Acts 20:35 it says, in everything I did, I showed you that by this kind of hard work, we must help the weak, remembering the words the Lord Jesus himself said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Today I work as an educator in Cabra Community College, just around the corner from where I was born. My main subject is visual art, but I met Roisin and we collaborated on that album launch, and now I teach childcare and community care, and the LCA, the Leading Cert Applied Group, work with ourselves, so I teach that. And I'm also the JCSB coordinator at my school, which is a real honour because it helps students to enjoy supportive learning and extracurricular events and enjoyable activities within the school and outside of the school, so I love that. I actually started off as a rapper for Wraparound, which is a JCSB programme, writing, rapping, reading and performance poetry, where poets like myself will go into schools and get the kids up and help them with performance and help them with confidence and expressing themselves through lyrics and through voice. So our school is part of the CDETB, the City of Dublin Education and Training Board, and we're an Educate Together school at Cabra CC. So that means equality and respect and community are really at the centre of what we do. Now, for me, teaching is not simply a job. Now, if you ask my students there to rate 1 to 10 how much I love my job, they'd be very honest, and they'd probably, if they had to rate in paddle boards, they'd probably hold up the 10, which is rate me 10 for loving my job, guys. Give her a 10. Alright, so I love my job. I don't see it as work, and yet I really respect the notion of me as a worker, not a teacher, but as a worker and as a servant. Okay? So I don't view it as work, but I don't view teaching as work the way the world views work. I see it as a form of service. I was raised to believe strongly in workers' rights. My mother worked in a trade union movement, and she shaped my understanding of justice and dignity from a very young age. I used to be very bored being sent into the creche. And I used to say, Mammy, and I was very short. I was only 5 or 6, and I'd say, can I come into the meetings with you? So my mother would take me to the trade union meetings or the National Women Council of Ireland meetings. So I'd hear all these adult conversations and, all this kind of this adult world, so it was wonderful, really. So I grew up believing in the work, or believing in women, and believing in learning and in liberation, right? So I grew up to be a strong woman and a strong worker. I believe in the worker. A good teacher is a proper grafter, right? That's what I believe, and I believe in the learner, and I believe deeply in the teacher-learner relationship. The writer and educator Bell Hooks wrote that the classroom should be a place where community happens. The idea for me is key, and it's key in my practice because education at its best is always relational. So it's not not when students simply do what they're asked that something powerful happens for me. It's when they trust what I or another teacher asks of them and learn to value it as a call to greatness. So when I ask students to do something, it's a call to greatness. But I'm not calling my students to be great in the way the world views it. I'm calling them to be great in the small things: kindness, courage, creativity, integrity. Sometimes that even means helping them break the mold and reshape it to value reinvention, innovation, and the kind of courage that allows people to change their own lives and enrich those of others. And I believe something very strongly as someone from a working class background. When working class people are free, everyone is free. So let's get free. Education in this country is free, and that matters deeply, says an Access student. But I often say one thing to my students: there's no such thing as a free class. When they say, "Is this class free? When I'm going to class, is this a free class?" No such thing as a free class. There's always a moment for learning. So I'm hoping for their future, for their families and for their communities. And they know that, and they can read it, and they read it in how you show up in their lives. So when I was asked the question, what have I gained by giving? My answer is very simple: the more I pour out of myself in service, the fuller I become. Not in dramatic moments, but in little small ones. Moments where a student realises something about themselves. Moments where a peer or trust appears in the room. Moments when someone discovers their voice, their confidence. Moments that seem small but are actually magnificent, and I get to enjoy them every day. It's a true privilege. And I'll finish by saying, when we give of our time, of our care, and our belief, and our energy, our effort, we often receive far more back than we ever expected, and I've enjoyed that for several years, being an artist and educator. And that's why I believe so deeply in the spirit of this year's give to gain. So, because we invest in young people at Carver CC, and I invest in young people. And when we invest in our communities, when we lift other women up and other people, something powerful happens. We don't lose anything, we all gain. And in every moment, it becomes a moment for learning. So thank you. And I'm going to perform something for you. So thanks for lending your ears for that speech. I'm going to perform the piece, if that's all right. It's all right, I've had more amateur setups than this. Trust me, it's brilliant. Isn't it brilliant? We come from hip hop, but we just did it on the street corner, you know. We didn't have microphones. We used to be begging people for the beatbox and saying, "I have my own drum." This is called the bowron. And would you believe that one translation of the Irish word bowron, lexicon wise, is miscellaneous, which is my name. Because my man says, "For a bit of this, you're a bit of that, you're a bit of the other." I say everything, anything, and nothing in particular. That's me, miscellaneous. My mother conquered seas with it filled her days with rain. She touched the somewhat frail beneath. She couldn't overcame. Controlling words, thoughts, words. It seems like any other. I don't deserve. I surely can't. This priceless gift, my mother. She and I, we share one face, her details etched more clear. She buried smiles for miles and miles, let mine stretch ear to ear. And she had childish thoughts like mine, a clean white sheet to fill. She began to build a story, constructed planting all the strongest seeds. Gladness fills my heart. This new story painted clouds of my mind to heart. But in life, it was a coin toss between my mother and my sister, but I took 2 pounds. Would you like to hear what about my sister? Yeah, I don't mind. I'm indulging because when a poet gets to read from the page, it's always wonderful, you know. Poetry from the page. Thank you very much. This one is called Coca-Cola Girl. Now, my sister's more of a Cabra girl because she went to St. Dominic's, so she's a bit older when we moved to Phoenix, so she has a Cabra accent. I mean, more of a Phoenix accent, she's a Cabra accent. Cola girl. The girl with the cola hair taught me how to strike a match, and like that, I could snap my finger and click my tongue and pick the bones out of that. Tiddles on the brink, impeccable benders, and the crack of the gingham tiger bomb sharp. She has fragrance of echinacea root, all rhythm and stealth. Life is a jump scare for the girl with Coca-Cola hair. She taught me how to throw a dig and call it as it is not. She beats me in a stare, this girl with cola hair. Her flap is open wonderland, and she's wondering. She's whistling in the dark amidst the din, simultaneously all tart and all toast. She cries when she laughs, and I am more spittle. When the credits roll, she is the saccharine standing ovation. For the sake of patience, she's waiting. She's the rolling of eyes without surprise. She's an inexplicable ache. That brim was that sweet to touch and touch. She's lazy loose, bouquets none to catch nor throw. She's the 6 of 1 and half a dozen you owe. She's citronella and stern, thin film appearance, she's out of nowhere, the girl with cola hair. Polishing Nanny's wings, court jester to a duchess, the dock leaf a laying sting. She's the exact distance between the moon and sun. She's the bemusement between winter morning and evening. She's whining gibbous in the daytime. She just knows. She glows like tendril. The fleshy oyster-like cushion under her soft palate, the tongue swallowed the pearl. She does not get lost, time's lost to her. A metal stool for wrapping fools. What my sister loves, I too love. She lets it go. She lets it away with it. Her face is charged with fire and grit. Her verses taught tread. My Coca-Cola haired sister. Comically coarse quicksilver, tight grip with a choking whisper. My sister with the harpist hands and her father's fingers. My sister with 1,000 anecdotes who lives her life like a poem. My sister with the grace of a war and the sigh of Cassandra. My sister with machete eyes that flood with song. My sister, all Jack and Jill, all nimble and quick. My sister who knows the truth, doesn't shoulder its weight. My sister with a flame like home, a cold-haired sister, scales the narrow gate.
Elaine, how are everybody? Great for talking about. So moving to have you here today, Elaine. Thank you. And wonderful. And thank you to the students from Harvard Community College who have helped us out here today. It's great to have the young people here to see it and to thank them to see it. They're much needed seeds of a community of giving, of representatives of other people, you know. And Elaine is that in abundance. So let's have Lara, who's going to give us a talk about hair products and just hair in general, yeah? Because we do all love our hair, that's women, what? Thank you, Lara.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah. I am Head of Education in HSL Ireland UK. I'm a salon owner and I've over 20 years experience in the hairdressing industry. Now, after following all these lovely women and amazing stories and work that they're doing, I'm not going to talk about hair care, but I am over there in the corner if anyone wants to talk to me about it afterwards. I suppose International Women's Day is all about empowering women, and I do that every day in the job that I'm in, whether we educate people on hair care and how to do it, or coming into the salon every day where I work and making people feel good about themselves, like you said. So that just, the give to gain, I gain every day. Some days I come in myself and I'm not feeling great, and I hear the stories that people are telling me. And by making people feel good about themselves, it's a good feeling, like it elates me on every day. So sorry, I'll do this totally at all. You know what I just want to say
Hairdressers sometimes are more than just getting their hair done lovely. Because they're therapists, aren't they? You go and you rant and you talk to them and they're always there listening, so I'm sure there's that as well.
Definitely. Like some of the stories I hear can be sad ones, can be happy ones. As I said, I gain from making someone feel good about themselves. There's no one that sits in my chair. The people that sit in my chair say, oh my God, when your hair is good, you feel good, I feel great, I feel amazing, thanks for that. And it can be a little bit of a therapy session as well. So it is amazing to have that job and be able to do that for women. Thank you. So no problem.
And everything Laura, big round of applause for that. And should we go in there wants to go and have a chat?
We have murals that you will see popping up all over the place. We have the pin and we have the pledge. This is the core of the campaign itself. We ask businesses, we ask sporting clubs, every place where people mix and gather to display a pledge that says to everybody who comes and gathers and is in their space that this is a safe place for women and girls, a place in which bullying or violence or threats won't be tolerated. That's the campaign. It's as simple and as straightforward as that. And it's been put together by women, for women, but it's also a campaign that it's really important that good men support as well. And I want to say that because I'm looking particularly to my left here, and I see a whole group of men here, very, very good men, because we need allies in this, you know. This is an important campaign for our daughters and our granddaughters, but it's also an important campaign for our sons and for our grandsons to understand that we want to live in a society and communities that are decent and safe. I think that's a fair ask, right, for all of us. So that's the campaign. We're asking people to wear the pin. We will have events in camera over the coming weeks and months, and we'll be inviting you all to come along. And this is about bringing out the goodness in all of us, so that's the campaign. So thank you for allowing me this platform to speak on it. And can I just say to all of you, really enjoy International Women's Day now on Sunday, because it's such a special moment for all of us. Men then say, well, when's International Men's Day? And as I told my husband, it's your day every day. But on Sunday, it's our day. And then the following Sunday, it's Mother's Day. So, ladies, we're all here. Let's enjoy every single moment of it. For a meeting moment today.
I did ask everybody questions so this year's theme for International Women's Day is Give to Gain. So can I ask you a time in your work where you gained by giving? I'm putting you on the spot, but I bet that one.
Seeing in the work that I do, you only ever gain by giving. That's actually the truth. People look at politics and they look at, people in public life, and it might appear that it's about the person themselves or about being on the telly or about, do you know what? It's not. It's all about being in the service of other people, helping other people, connecting with other people, building friendship, building camaraderie, building respect with other people. So in politics, actually, to be really successful and to get where you want to go, you have to give to gain. You have to give. It can't be all about me. It can't be all about yourself. You see, if you're at that, you're not really the best that you can be. You're not really the activist that you can be, and you certainly can't be the politician that you can be. So that for me is every day. And I do a lot of the work with the Dáil. You see me with me Hallmark and God help me, right? And Simon Harris and all of those. And you see all of that part. And then well, that, yeah. But actually, the part of this job that I love is gatherings like this, because you are the energy that can actually keep communities strong, change communities, and actually build a better Ireland. And I mean that. It happens in the grassroots. All the significant things, everything from the struggle for Irish freedom back in the day. Connolly raised his citizens' army amongst the Dublin working class. That was a revolution of working people, not of the establishment. So this is the most important, you are the most important people in Irish political life, not the big honchos. You're the ones that call the shots, you're the ones that matter. So that was a great question, and I hope I answered that well.
I don't think that was call for we're trying to stone it, so it's actually doing that. It's really brilliant. Thank you so much. Now, we are going to have the lovely Elaine come back up to give us another performance. Anyone who wasn't in the room that missed Elaine a little bit before, this can catch her now. But I'll put this on the mic stand Elaine.
And we also have a guest.
Okay.
And I asked one of my students that is here to accompany me on the bell roll.
Well done, that.
And thank you. And so Zach's going to stand here. He's going to hold the drum for me. Now I asked Zach, I said, which is my poem? One over to here. I said, which one of my poems did you prefer? The one for my mother or the one for my sister? And he said, the one for your mommy. Now, this is a bit spontaneous, so thank you again for welcoming us up to share some lyrics in celebration of International Women's Day with Síol and with the Finglas Cabra Drug Task Force. And thank you, Mary Lou, and the Zero Tolerance campaign is amazing, and I've already got my sticker right here. So without further ado, I'm going to recite something from when I was 9 years old. It was my first poem that I wrote as a girl. It's called Little Leaf. I'm just a little leaf. I'm all worn and torn. I've been used on many pages. I've been copied and drawn. I've been living on the ground for very, very long. Sitting here for ages and being crushed on the pages. And at the end of the day, I'm on the way. Well, this is the sequel. I wrote this 25 years later. To believe the sequel. The truth that wrenched the root, all riches at my core, the heart remains unweathered, encased in rings of love and war. Time cascades around me, precious as it is vast, seasons for the years to traverse the smiles and tears, and rise again anew, the tree from which it grew. I'm doing one piece called Colleen Ribbon, which means red girl. Thank you very much. A tone, a melody, a rhythm, not just a language my heart only knows. Earrings, Fado, stories of long ago, prayers in the wind, carried like secrets in our eyes. Oh, we dare not touch our truth, the utmost treasure of our isle. A half-mast pride, no emblem to conceal or clutch within our father's hands, measuring the stallions by his palms. Still, our heroes' hooves tread on these lands.
white lily brown, sing to me your sense, cheek of rose glow. Not just our rivers running free, it was our tears salted to sea.
Well, good, amazing. Yeah, what a treat to have you here. I thank you so much. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Well, so far we've had such amazing speakers and performers, and everybody just played a star. I'm so proud of everybody. Next, I'm going to put two girls. I'm going to ask them to come up. Two young girls, they're actually in college. They're going to tell you that themselves, but they're going to go up and just talk a little bit about their experience working on Síol and in college, and just in general being young females in this community. How are you here? So these girls are helping me organise all of this today, along with Jackie from the Safety Forum, and it was great to have them here on the day as well. So I suppose you know the theme for today, about giving to gain. Can you tell me a time that you gained by giving?
Yeah, I suppose I was volunteering in a youth centre during last winter, and I was going through a rough time, and I was kind of forced to go in, go on a trip with them. I was like, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. I was kind of feeling down myself, but when I went in, the reception, I got off all the kids, and they were like, oh my God, we're back to see that someone was happy to see me. I kind of gained to them.
I'm going to ask you the same question. The time that you gave and you gained from it?
I think we workplace in the group with women are over 65, and I asked, I literally just complimented her on once. And even that, like, the response I got back off her, like, she was made up with it, and she said, that's going to make it my day. Then the whole day, she just like, thanks so much, you know. So I think that made me feel, gave me a little bit of it, but the teacher just said, thanks. Yeah.
So I think that's true. Not everyone complimented from I think the girls have been work experience for a couple of months in the big, right? So some of you have met them, some of you will see them around. So just overall, it's great to have you here. And is there anything else you'd like to add about this event or doing today in particular?
Yeah, I suppose when I went into further education, just doing sitting leading to himself, I thought the chances that my nanny never got to go to education. She was taking up skill because our family was so poor, the women had to work, and the same then it would pass down a generation to my man. She never got to go to college or to finish school or sit her university, so I kind of felt that I had that responsibility, or I should take that role to go do it and represent them in myself, because that's what they need from me, and that's what I wanted to give to them.
Wait, my mom, she did a leave, shot me because my nanny left school like 12 months year. And but my mom back to college when she was 4 with 4 kids, and I was shot at autism. So looking at her like growing up, I think I was like, my little sister's 4, I would have been 10. So like that was 4 years just looking at her, the stress and everything, but like dealing with 4 kids. So anytime I wanted to play with college, I'm like, I'm not going to kids. So I've been just loading up to work, like to be honest, like I've asked Susan, especially when girls and my like I didn't really think about anything today, because I said,
Okay. Sorry, I put you on the spot with there, but it's great to have you and we're going to do great work together. Well done. Well done. Okay. I'm going to give you another poem, and this is kind of about mental health, but overcoming it and still carrying on anyway. So this is called Fall Down 7 Times, Get Up Again. Bad memories wash over me like a tsunami, and it's stopping me to sleep. The fear of the fall keeps knocking on my door. I'm a prisoner in the past. Happiness won't last. But the past is long gone, revealing it's wrong. It leaves me feeling unstrong. Cause now I'm a wolf at the front and I'm leading the pack. No more at the back and I'm not looking back, keeping on in the rain and I'm healing the pain. All that remains is to break the chains down, bring the good times about. I'm going to use my mouth, you're going to shout, use my word for good, like everybody should. There's too many people out there misunderstood. Who are you to judge me? You don't see what I see, you don't be where I be, you don't walk in my shoes, you don't get me news, the kind of news that gives you the blues. Not all bruises are external, some are internal, and they can be there for eternity, so be nice to me, and I'll be nice to you too. It's all we gotta do. Treat others how you wish to be treated too. It's gonna bring out the best in you, because we'll all be gone one way or another, so be nice to your human sisters and brothers. Looking back, it was all just black, blue, broken-hearted eyes, happiness and demise. My thoughts were like thunder, positivity is being plundered, dreams torn asunder, man, I'm left to wonder, storms in my head as we going back to bed. I would sit and I cry, and I wonder why. I can't escape the thorns as I scorn and I mourn for the life that I know, full of shine, full of flow. Where did it go? Why so long? Feeling broken and me heart be hoping for peace of mind. Thoughts less unkind, the more I avoid on the path of regrets that gets me upset. Falling, free falling, stalling, the inevitable truths that I must get to the roots of the pain or else go insane. So what you going to do when you haven't got a clue? You want to start anew, you feel there's nothing you can do. You can't think straight because your head's in a state. You over-contemplate because you think it's too late. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. You have to keep going in blind faith. The way we will create is going to be great. Out straight, it'll be great. Because you can have it all together life and hit you to the floor. You fall down many times, you get yourself a more. You be in crisis mode and you take a deep breath. Fret, get upset, and then you press reset. I need out left for the grief. I need to find relief. The clock will tick a little talk, and one day the clock will stop. So chop chop if you're going to make it to the top. And to make it there, we have to start somewhere. And it's our community and our friends and our hearts when we make it there. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I just want to say I'm so impressed with it. I have never seen her on the stage before, but she's brilliant, isn't she?
You're brilliant too. I admire you so much. Yeah? And can I ask you a question, Peggy? Everybody has got asked this question. The theme this year for International Women's Day is Give to Gain. What do you give to gain? Will you tell me about a time in all the years of charity work and community work you've done where you gained by giving? What did you ever gain anything by giving to someone?
Oh my God. You know, well, I tell you, I'm not prepared for this, but when I started, God bless us, I was in Africa, and I got to be in Africa when I was a nurse out there in Africa. But I had to come home, and because my mother wasn't well, and my brother was killed. So I had to come home. Now, come home to what? I was in a nurse, but I've been in Africa, a nurse doing everything in Africa. They threw me out of the hospital here. So I went to them in Edinburgh and they said to me, I said, I'd like to do something. You know? Oh, yeah, okay. And I just said, oh God, I don't know, but they said to me, would you go to Stony Batter? Stony Batter! Because they were worried about Stony Batter, and I've been on these houses on the open Senate, it's like, you know, there was a Deputy Gardens and all those places and those times. So, you asked me, what did I hear? I went there in those days. You can imagine in those days. Well, I just feel I gained so much from being with those people. It's only better and better. The salt of the earth. I go down to Stony Batter, and all day they were there in a hotel. But just the salt of. So they're my lovely men.
Thank you so much, Sister Ray. I'm so happy to have you here for again. Sister Ray, everybody, and Lord, thank you. Thank you. And we all gave